What if I told you that the OBD2 scanner sitting in your glove box right now, the one you plug into your OBD2 port when a check engine light comes on so you would never be caught off guard on the side of the road, might be giving you nothing but a false sense of security? Some of the most aggressively marketed scanner brands in the game have built their entire business model around looking capable on a shelf without actually being capable when it counts. Here is what most people miss. There is a category of automotive gear where the price tag and the performance have almost nothing to do with each other, and OBD2 scanners sit right at the top of that list. Brands are charging top dollar for outdated software, locked ecosystems, and hardware that chokes the moment you need a real answer on a real problem. Meanwhile, the scanners that professional technicians and serious road-ready drivers actually trust are getting buried under sponsored content and retail placement deals. In this video, we are counting down 5 OBD2 scanner brands that are taking your money and leaving you exposed, and 5 that are genuinely worth every dollar. And I will warn you now, the #1 brand robbing you blind is one that most of you already own or have seriously considered. The #1 worth buying? Probably not on your radar yet. And that gap is exactly the problem this channel exists to fix. Never Stranded is built for drivers who refuse to be caught unprepared. If that is you, hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we are calling out the gear that fails you and the gear that saves you. Real information for real drivers. So let us get into it. 5 brands robbing you blind, counting down to the worst offender. Then 5 worth your money, counting up to the 1 scanner that genuinely belongs in every serious driver's kit. Starting with the brands robbing you blind. Number 5, Actron. If you've ever grabbed the scanner that looked the most professional at AutoZone, came in a hard-shell case, and had the most text on the back of the box, there's a good chance you grabbed an Actron and paid somewhere between $80 and $130 for it. Here's what Bosch, the parent company that owns Actron, is counting on you not knowing. The hardware hasn't meaningfully evolved in years. You get basic diagnostic trouble codes, DTCS, some live data, an emissions readiness check, and that's about it. No bidirectional control, no ABS tests, no real system-level access. At that price in 2025, those aren't limitations. Those are deliberate choices designed to get you to buy the next model up. When you're on the side of the road and Actron hands you a generic DTC with nothing else behind it, you paid for the feeling of being prepared, not the capability. Number 4, Zurich. Harbor Freight's in-house scanner brand follows the exact same playbook. Low enough price to feel like a deal, clean enough packaging to feel legitimate, just functional enough that you won't return it, but not functional enough to protect you when things get complicated. Zurich will read and clear check engine light codes. Basic live data works. But the vehicle coverage has real gaps. The update path is inconsistent, and the live data refresh rate is slow enough to be nearly useless for diagnosing intermittent failures, which are exactly the kind of failures that strand drivers. The danger with Zurich is not that it's terrible. It is that it is just good enough to make you feel equipped while leaving you significantly underprotected the moment your situation actually gets serious. Number 3, Innova. Innova has done something genuinely impressive from a marketing standpoint. They have made themselves synonymous with the phrase "good OBD2 scanner" in the mind of the average driver, despite charging premium prices for a feature set that has been lapped by the competition. Their mid-range lineup, the 3100, the 5610, the 6100P, is prominently placed at every major parts store and priced between $80 and $180. What the display doesn't tell you is that Innova's advanced features sit behind either a higher product tier or a subscription through their Repair Solutions app. Bidirectional coverage is limited. Live data isn't fast. And on newer vehicles with more complex electronics, Innova's system coverage starts showing its age. They built a reputation on a generation of vehicles they served reasonably well. Your vehicle probably isn't that generation. Number 2, BlueDriver. BlueDriver is clever, a Bluetooth dongle that plugs into your OBD2 port and pairs with your phone with a polished app and a professional-looking interface, and it costs around $100 and it feels like serious diagnostic equipment. But here's the architecture problem most people don't discover until they're already stranded. BlueDriver is entirely dependent on your phone and an active app connection. Your phone needs to be charged. The Bluetooth connection needs to be stable. The app needs to be current. Pull any one of those links and your scanner is a plastic plug doing nothing. There's also a lock-in problem. BlueDriver controls what you can access through software decisions. Support for specific makes and models varies more than the marketing suggests. And if the company changes its business model or updates the app in a direction you don't want, your $100 investment has no fallback. For occasional at-home check engine light reads on a good day, it's a reasonable product. For gear you're counting on in any condition, on any day, on any road, the risk is too high. In number 1 on the brands robbing you blind, the entire category of generic white label, no-name OBD2 scanners flooding Amazon. I know that's not one brand, that's intentional. Because the most dangerous thing in this space isn't one company making one bad product. It's an entire ecosystem built around one strategy. Look like a scanner, cost like a bargain. Collect enough 5-star reviews from people who only ever used it once to stay visible in search results. You've seen them. ELM 327 clones, Vidant, BAFX, VPeak, generic dongles selling for $8 to $20 from companies with no physical address and no support line. They read check engine light codes sometimes. They clear DTCS sometimes. And when they don't, when you're standing on a highway shoulder with a dead connection and no data, there is nobody to call and nothing to fall back on. The ELM 327 chip architecture most of these are built on has known limitations with modern vehicle protocols. The firmware quality between a legitimate clone and a counterfeit is something you cannot determine from a product listing. The driver who puts one of these in their emergency kit isn't a prepared driver. They're a driver who feels prepared. And that gap is the most expensive mistake in this entire category. Now the 5 worth your money. And before we get into them, just to give you a sense of the price landscape here, professional shop tools from brands like Snap-on run anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. The scanners on this list give everyday drivers a serious fraction of that capability at a fraction of that price. That's the whole point. Number 5, TOPDON. The ArtiDiag 600S sits around $100 to $130 and gives you full OBD2 diagnostics, usable live data, oil reset, electronic parking brake, battery management system, throttle relearn, and steering angle sensor, service functions that brands at double the price are hiding behind a higher tier. It runs on its own hardware. It doesn't need your phone. It reads and clears diagnostic trouble codes across all OBD2 systems. Updates are free. For a driver building a serious emergency kit, TOPDON consistently makes you feel like the money stayed with the product. Number 4, launches consumer CRP lineup. The CRP 129E delivers 4 system diagnostics, engine, transmission, ABS, and SRS airbag, alongside reset functions most consumer scanners at that price can't match. Fast boot time. An intuitive interface that doesn't require reading a manual in a stressful roadside moment. And live data that shows you what a sensor is actually reading in real time, not just whether it threw a check engine light. Launch tools are used in professional shops because they earn that trust. The CRP lineup brings that credibility into a package every prepared driver can carry. Number 3, OBDLink. If you own a Ford, General Motors, or anything in those family trees, OBDLink earns a dedicated spot in your kit. The MX Plus plugs into your OBD2 port and connects via Bluetooth on a proprietary STN chip architecture that is meaningfully more capable than the generic ELM327 chips in the knockoff category, with faster protocol detection, better manufacturer-specific data access, and a more stable wireless connection than most Bluetooth scanners manage. Paired with apps like ForScan for Ford vehicles, it accesses system-level data that standalone scanners in its price range cannot reach. The phone dependency is real here too, but OBDLink mitigates it by actually delivering on what wireless scanners promise, rather than just promising it. Number 2, Autel's mid-range lineup, specifically the MaxiCheck MX808, around $200 to $250, and it delivers something brands charging similar money rarely do: genuine bidirectional control. You can run active tests, you can command components, you can verify what's actually failing rather than guessing at it. In a roadside situation, that distinction means everything: deep vehicle coverage, reliable updates, EV and hybrid support. An investment that doesn't become obsolete the next time a manufacturer releases a new platform. And the number 1 scanner brand worth your money, launch at the professional tier. The X431 series. Launch doesn't spend their budget on end cap displays at parts stores. They spend it building tools that hold up in professional shop environments. The kind of environments where Snap-on dominates at prices most drivers can't justify. And then they made those tools available to any driver willing to look past the brands with the bigger retail presence. Coverage across over 100 vehicle makes, full system bidirectional diagnostics, coding and programming on supported vehicles. The ability to read and clear DTCS at a depth most consumer tools never reach. A transparent update subscription that actually delivers expanded vehicle coverage rather than unlocking features that should have been included at purchase. What puts the X431 at the top of this list isn't the feature count, it's the confidence it gives you. When you're on an unfamiliar road and your vehicle is telling you something is wrong, the question isn't just what code is it, it's what is actually happening, how serious is it, and what do I do next? This tool answers all three. If you made it to the end of this video, you now know something most drivers never figure out until it's too late: that the brand on the box and the protection in your glove box are two completely different things. Some of the most visible scanners on the market are selling you the confidence of being prepared without the capability that backs it up. Subscribe to Never Stranded and ring that notification bell, because every week we are going deeper on the gear that actually keeps you moving and the gear that was never going to. This channel exists for the driver who refuses to be left on the shoulder wondering why the tool they bought didn't work. Remember, the most dangerous piece of gear in your car isn't the one that's broken. It's the one you think is working.